Ver vocês, bem-vindos os que entraram pela primeira vez hoje, bem-vindos os que chegaram de um break, desde a nossa primeira session às 5 da tarde, Brazilian Time, Brasília Time. Quero pedir desculpas às pessoas que eu informei os horários, né? A gente deu os links, os horários, sempre vamos estar falando em horário de Brasília, mas nós vamos reforçar isso para vocês, tá bom? Na próximo reminder. Sejam bem-vindos, eu só quero dar as boas-vindas, lembrar vocês que o Education é muito feliz de estar fazendo essa sessão, abrangendo o Brasil para oferecer o English Gap, English for Graduate Application Purposes, com a nossa querida professora Mary Burch Harmon, directly from Baltimore, Maryland, US. Ela vai fazer hoje a segunda sessão da segunda sessão do módulo 1, English Foundation, né? Então, aproveitem, enjoy the class. Bye. Thank you, MB. The floor is yours.
Thank you. Hello, everyone. Welcome back. Welcome if you're just coming. It's good to see you. How's everyone doing? Doing up? Yeah? Yeah? All right. So we are going to take our second class, Language Foundation, tonight. And this is our second class out of 6. And so just like last week, we're going to work on giving a presentation or giving a short speech. Okay, so don't let that scare you. We're going to take you through different steps to get ready for that. And hopefully we'll have time to practice tonight with a partner. Okay, it's good to see everyone. I'm going to go ahead and share my screen, as I always do at the beginning. We are going to take our second class. I should turn this off so I can't hear myself. All right, so let's see what we're going to do tonight. So welcome back. It's good to see everyone. This is class 2 of Language Foundation. So just a reminder, I'm MB, and you remember from last week if you were here. If you're new this week, my first name is Mary Burch, and you can call me MB. That's the easiest. It's so good to see you. So tonight we're doing a little bit of a partner share. You're going to talk to your partner for a moment, and then we're going to, go over the content and the style of this class just as reminders, just to make sure we're clear about that. And then we're going to go over the format of giving a speech or a short presentation in English. And we're going to get, hopefully have time to practice with a partner tonight. So we'll practice together and then we'll practice individually with a partner, okay? So doing a partner share is usually just a chance for you to say hello to your partner and just kind of bring you into the room, and also for a chance for you to practice your English before we get started for the whole class, okay? I usually do this at the beginning so you get to know someone new in the class and also have a chance to just get warmed up and get ready to be here tonight, okay? So tonight, what you're going to share with your partner are 3 different things. First of all is one thing that you focused on today. That could be anything. It could be on cooking your dinner. It could be on getting ready for the TOEFL test, whatever it is. You can talk about that with your partner. You're going to talk about one thing that you learned today. Hopefully you learned something new today. And finally, one thing that you hope to do tomorrow. So you're going to talk about those 3 things with your partner, and then we're going to come back and just check in and see how everybody's doing. Everybody okay? Yeah? So one thing that you focused on today, one thing that you learned today, and one thing that you hope to do tomorrow. And I'm going to come back to you. I'll put that in the chat for you so you can see it. And then we're going to go ahead and get our breakout rooms ready. Yeah, sure. Sure, Alana, I can answer your question. Yeah, no problem. All right, everybody okay? Yeah, so what you're gonna do is just discuss with your partner. Hopefully you have a new partner, someone that you can get to know tonight, okay? And let's see if everybody has a place to go. It looks good. Okay, here we go. So you're going to discuss with your partner those 3 things. Just say hi to them, and then we're going to start it. Okay, here we go. Good luck. Oops. Message. Hi. Hey there. Lenny, are you here? Yeah. Good job. Hi. Your partner didn't come in, right? Here she comes. Here she comes. Okay.
Hey, sorry, I was having internet issues.
It's okay. Okay. I'll see you soon. Good luck. Bye. All right, so we're going to go ahead and join a room.
I don't know why.
Hi, Flavia.
Hi, do you hear me?
Yeah?
Now
We
now
can
we
hear
can
you.
hear.
Oh, okay. My mic
Hello, maybe.
was off.
How's everybody doing? Okay.
Yeah, I'm good.
Yeah.
Okay. We just I'm shocked with the coincidence.
Do you have a coincidence?
Yeah, we both study in the same university and you are in the same city right now.
And we didn't know each other.
And we
Till
didn't know
now.
each other. It is the same campus, the same place, everything. When I
Amazing.
saw the room that he is, I figured out that would be the same university. So I asked him, and it was.
I'm an intruder here.
And me
No,
too.
no.
Me too,
see.
Fabio. Oh, wow. That's amazing. That's
It
amazing.
was a huge surprise for me too.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's awesome. All right, good job. And did you have a chance to answer the questions? Are you okay?
What are the questions?
Oh yeah, you forgot about the question.
No problem. No problem.
Sorry.
It's okay. It's okay. You have more important things, right? Okay, I just put them in the chat. Okay.
Okay.
Go ahead
Okay.
and take a moment
One.
to discuss them, and I'll see you soon. Yeah, one thing you focused on today, one thing you learned, and one thing you
Okay.
look for tomorrow. Okay. Good luck.
Okay.
Bye.
So
What is your presentation about?
It's
Hi,
about a
Emily.
book.
Hi.
Hi, MB.
Hi.
It's about a book that I am learning in an international circle of literature. And I am reading the Theory of Feminism, a book of Bell Hooks, and I will present one of the chapters about this book, and all the presentation is in English.
Wow.
And I think I'm really nervous. I spent my day trying to practice it, and this class is amazing for me.
When, Fernanda, when is your presentation?
Tomorrow.
Okay, so we're gonna get to you some good tips for tonight.
Oh.
Okay.
Thank you so much.
And how long do you have to talk for? How long?
I'm practicing my speaking for some months. I started this year because I want to improve, and speaking is one of the skills that I less know about.
Okay. Okay. And tomorrow, how long do you have to talk? 5 minutes, 10 minutes?
10 minutes.
10 minutes.
10 minutes.
All right. All right. So
I'm nervous. It's my first time. It's my first time.
It's okay. We're going to give you some positive energy and some help to get ready. Okay.
Thank you so much.
Yeah. All right. I'm going to.
Good luck.
Yeah. Good luck. Right.
Yes.
Right.
Yes.
Okay. So we're going to come back in one moment. Okay. So just finish up what you're talking about. I'll see you soon. Bye.
Yeah.
Bye.
Step?
Yeah, final step. Show this. Hi, MB.
Hi, how are you?
Fine.
I'm fine.
Doing okay?
Just trying to talk.
Yeah.
It's okay. That's why you're here, right? To practice.
Right.
Yeah.
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 Sometimes I feel very shy with the group.
No, you're doing great.
You're doing
but here in the closed room, I feel very comfortable.
Good. Good.
Yeah.
Well, we're going to come back in 1 minute, okay? I just wanted to say hi, and I'll see you soon.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, MB. Thank you.
Bye.
Bye.
Bye-bye. See you.
Hi.
How was it? Good?
It was good.
Yeah. Yeah. So we had some interesting conversations. Yeah. Interesting conversations, right? Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Would anyone like to share your ideas? So one thing that you focused on today, one thing that you learned today, or one thing that you hope for tomorrow? Anybody want to share? Yeah, that's good. Well, I'll say one thing that I focused on today was getting ready for my 2 classes. And one thing that I learned today was how to go on YouTube Live. I said in the last class, I've never done that before, so I'm still learning. Yeah. One thing that I hope for tomorrow is, yeah, to keep learning, It's always fun to learn, right? Yeah. Yeah. Anybody want to say? You're right? Yeah. Okay. Okay. So remember that these first 3 classes for Language Foundation, we're going to focus on speaking. Okay. And last week I gave you just some hints and some kind of overall reminders. And tonight I also have a paper to give to you, a document to give to you, which has all of this information on it. Okay. So I'm sorry last week it wasn't ready. I didn't finish it. So tonight I have this week's from last week, sorry, and from this week, okay, to give to you right at the end. You're welcome to take notes, but all of this will be shared with you at the end, okay? So if you want to just listen, you can do that too, okay? All right, so we're going to go back to the PowerPoint, and what we're going to do is, let's see what we're going to do next. Okay, so we did this. And I just want to go over some of the key points from last week, just to make sure we're clear. So this class is about improving your speaking skills as well as your writing skills. Okay, remember that those two are very similar in some ways in English. Okay, they're both production skills that we use in English. Okay, you're going to learn the basic format for both writing and for speaking. And you also learn a little bit about how to support your ideas. Okay, if this is really familiar to you, then just use this as a place to practice. If this is not familiar to you, just use this as a place to learn about it. When you're in your group with your partner, you might have a different level from your partner. That is okay, no problem. It's a chance for all of us to learn, okay? There's 6 classes, like I said, so the first 3 will be about speaking. The next 3 will be about writing, okay? And like you are in class with me live, you can also watch on YouTube, all right? And at the end, you will receive the document for today. You will also be able to access the PowerPoints and the YouTube live session, okay? So please just, you don't have to panic while you're in this room. Take notes or pay attention to everything, okay? You're here. I'm happy to answer your questions if you have them, and happy to help you, all right? So just like a lot of my other classes, it's very interactive. You will always have a chance to talk to someone. Maybe being in the big room feels like, oh my gosh, I can't ask any question in English. That's okay. When you're with your partner in your groups, in your small groups, please feel free to talk, to turn on your camera, to say hello to your partner, all right? And to do as much interaction as you can. Please ask questions when you don't understand. If you don't feel comfortable asking the big group, you may always private chat to me and ask me a question, okay? And I might ask the bigger group. So please remember that you can always ask questions. That's one way to learn, right? And also just try to do your best. Like I said, some of your English might be a higher level than someone else in your group. That's okay. That's why you're here, is to practice. So just try to do your best. And you always have the chance to meet new people and hopefully have fun, okay? So just to go over some key points from last week, we talked about writing and speaking in English. One thing to remember is that they're very linear. And maybe very different from Portuguese is that we say the ideas and we say them almost in a line, okay? If that's familiar to you, great. If that's not familiar to you, we're here to help, okay? It always follows a certain template, okay? And there's often an introduction, a body and a conclusion, all right? So if you were just in my TOEFL speaking class, if you have time, you can do all 3. If you don't have time, you can just do the first 2, all right? In this class, we're going to try to practice a little bit longer of a speech, all right? So we're going to aim for 3 minutes. So maybe that doesn't sound long. Maybe that sounds like an eternity, but we're going to try to do that so that you can practice getting all 3 of those pieces. And then we often use transition words in English to help the listener and the reader follow us. These are really important words that help show how the speech or the reading, or the writing is changing, okay? I didn't mention this last week, but one other thing to keep in mind is to always think about what your topic is. This applies for both speaking and writing. So what your topic is what you're going to be speaking about or writing about, okay? You also need to think about who your audience is, all right? So just think about that for a moment. If you needed to give a speech to a bunch of 6-year-olds, it would be very different from a speech that you would give to college professors, okay? So in writing and in speaking in English, we're often thinking about these things, even if your teacher's not telling you to do that, okay? You need to just pay attention to these things. So you also need to think about what's your purpose. What point do you want to make in your speech? And why do you want to talk about it? All right. So you might hear me say this a couple times, but I'm often referring to topic, audience, and purpose. And I call it the TAP, T-A-P, okay? So just try to keep that in mind when you're thinking about giving a speech, and when we get to writing, when you think about writing, okay? Possible formats for speaking. This is something that we did last week. So you're always going to introduce yourself. We're going to practice that tonight. You're often going to say, either ask a question or give a hook for this should say this for the listener, not the reader. You're going to hook the listener or hook the reader, okay? Is everyone familiar with that phrase, to hook something? Yeah?
No, could you explain, please?
Sure, sure. A hook is like, I'll come back to you. A hook is like a broad statement or a bold statement that gets the reader or the listener's attention, okay?
Sell a fish.
Yeah, like a hook of fish. Yes, exactly, exactly. Right? When you go fishing, right? When you hook a fish like this, right? Okay, you want to hook the reader or you want to hook the listener, okay? So you might say a really broad or bold statement, a strong statement like, I hate chocolate or something like that. And then you're going to start to talk about it, okay? Or you might say, you know, Brazil is the best country in the world, right? And then you might explain about it. You got it? Okay. So if I'm listening, I might be like, oh, really? Tell me about Brazil. Tell me why it's the best country in the world. Okay. You want to grab your reader. You want to grab your listener right from the start. Okay. We use it both in writing and both in speaking as well. Okay. Got it? Yeah. Okay. So let's go back. So another thing you might pay attention to, or you might start off by saying, my talk today is about blah, 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 okay? You'll hear different people say this. We're gonna look at some sample speeches. This is okay to say. I would say try to grab the listener first, and then to say, I'd like to tell you today about blah, 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 okay? But you wanna grab their attention right away, if you can, all right? Then you could also use, I would like to discuss, okay? After that, you're going to talk about what the structure is. Now, maybe this sounds really boring, like, you know, why MB? Why do I have to say what I'm gonna talk about? In English, we do this. We do this a lot. So you listen to an academic speech, the teacher might say, you know, make a comment, and then they say, today I'm gonna tell you this, this, and this, all right? And that means that you can pay attention. As a listener, you know they're gonna cover this idea, and this idea. So if you were taking notes, if you were a student in class, you might write on your paper, oh, right, she's gonna talk about this, then this, then this, okay? And maybe you saw at the beginning, I told you my agenda because I want you to know how the plan is for today. That's from a teacher's point of view, but it's also kind of a presenter's point of view, okay? So you're gonna have an introduction, then you're gonna tell me what the speech is gonna be about, all right? So you might say something like, in this presentation, I intend to blah, blah, blah. I intend to discuss, I intend to talk about. In this presentation, I want to talk about something like that, okay? Or today I'd like to discuss, and you're gonna say what the topic is. Remember, you're going to always say, what is my topic? You're gonna think about who your audience is and what is your purpose? Why are you saying all of this, okay? Then moving on, you're going to introduce each point, okay? This may sound really basic, but you might start by saying, I want to begin by saying blah, blah, blah. Or I want to begin by talking about, and you're gonna say what it is, all right? You might move on to the next point by saying the second or the third or the fourth or whatever point. in English, we think that we need to tell the listener, hey, hello, here comes the point. Okay, we need to signal the listener, that this is coming next. Okay, so it's very structured in that way. All right, and you can use the same format to think about when you talk about a topic. All right. If you need to clarify a point, which means that you need to give more information or more details, you might say, in other words, or what I mean is, or you might give some more details in that way. People in English do this a lot, all right? And it also happens when you're giving a presentation and maybe your mind goes over here and you're like, oh, wait a minute, I'm supposed to talk about this. Okay, you can always come back and focus on what your point is. Okay, you're always telling the listener, hey, listen, this is what I want to focus on. You're always giving them that information. Okay, and just a couple more points is that if you want to keep going, you might say, so I talked about the reasons why I hate chocolate, and now I'd like to talk about whatever it is, okay? So you keep telling the listener, this is how my format is, okay? And you might also say, moving on to the next point. These are just suggestions for how you could structure it. Okay, so different from the TOEFL speaking test, because you have such a short time, in this particular speech, we're going to pretend that we have enough time to make a conclusion, all right? So I started with my introduction, then I gave, we call it the body, which means like the main points, all right? And then I'm going to go to my conclusion. And in a speech, you're just going to say one sentence or one idea to close your speech, all right? If not, in English, we think it's too open. Like she didn't finish what she was saying, or he didn't close what he was saying. I know it sounds like we say the idea, we say it again, we say it again. I know, but that's the way we do it, okay? So you have to close it at the end, all right? And you might say something like, today I gave you all the reasons why I hate chocolate, whatever it is, okay? Or in summary, blah, 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 blah. Or to summarize, and you're going to close it that way. Does everyone kind of get it? You all right? Yeah? Okay. So what I thought we could do today, so one more example. What I thought we could do today is to practice actually doing that. Okay. So how do you feel about giving a 1.5 minute speech in English? Somewhere in the middle. Yeah, somewhere like this. Yeah. How about if I asked you to give a 3-minute speech? Ah. Panic? Panic, panic, panic? Yeah. Yeah. Okay. Okay. So last week I had the ambitious idea that we would go for 3 minutes, but we're going to start slow. So I cut it in half for today. Okay. So today we're going to go for 1.5 minutes. All right. So if you're taking the TOEFL test, this would be double what you had to say, but we're not going to worry so much about time, but we're going to worry about trying to give our ideas very clearly. Okay. All right. So what I'd like to do is do one together, which means that we're all helping each other. All right. And then I'd like to go into our groups and see if you can do it with your partner. All right. And your partner will listen and give you some feedback. Okay. This is not to scare you. Remember, we're going to take it step by step by step. Okay. Together. Okay. So let's see. So you might use, I forget what I put. Right. So this is an overall example, and I can copy this to the chat so that you can see it. But you might use something like this to explain about one topic tonight. Okay. So you might introduce yourself, good evening, whatever your hook is. In this presentation, I'd like to talk about blah, 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 okay? And I want to begin with, my next point is this, next I'd like to talk about this, and you're going to say those ideas really clearly. If you need to clarify, you could say what I mean is, and then explain that. And then you're going to close it. You're going to close your speech today by saying something like, in conclusion or in summary, today I talked about blah, blah, blah. Okay. And I'm going to copy this to the chat in one moment. Okay. If you're trying to write it down quickly, that's okay. I'm going to share it with you in one moment. Okay. So let's think if we were going to do this together. All right. Let's think about this opinion and think about how we feel about it and try to think of our reasons and then try to organize it together. Okay. And this is the opinion. This is a big problem in the US that schools have a lot of junk food in the cafeteria. Okay. So this opinion is schools should only have healthy food. All right. No junk food should be allowed in schools. Everybody clear with the opinion? All right. Yeah. Okay. So just take 1 minute and think about how you would support this. If you want to take notes, you can. If you want to type on your phone, you can. Type on your computer. And then we're going to try to figure out our ideas together. I'm going to bring it over to the chat for you. All right. So here we go. And you just think for a moment. Okay, so let's think. So schools should have only healthy food. Can everyone agree with that? Can you give me a thumbs up if you agree with that? Yeah. Okay, and if you're disagreeing with that, we'll get to that in one moment. Okay, so let's think for the positive side in support of this idea. What are some reasons why schools should only have healthy food? You can put them in the chat. You can turn on your microphone if you want. What do you think?
Hi, good night.
Hi.
Hi. I think the reason one can be that the habits of alimentation are built in this stage of life.
Good points. Right. So I'm going to say habits of young children. Is that okay?
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah, your food habits. Good point. Thank you. Okay, so that could be one reason. Go ahead.
Junk food it became like when it's processed, it became sugar, and sugar get the students and the kids very excited, and they get excited, then the energy goes down. Right. So for learning process, it's not good. And they have to stay like 6 hours at school. So
good point.
To improve the learning process.
Good point. So processed foods give students too much sugar. And
I think what Nara said is very important, because food made of sugar tastes better. And children, of course, will pick up what tastes better. Right. So if you have the two options, they will look for the sugar option.
Good job.
This option with sugar. Yes.
Good job. Good job. Right. Thanks for that support.
They don't have maturity for this choice.
Yeah, good point. Right.
I'd start this presentation, make a comparison about some kind of a poison. Imagining kids having poison every day, like times dose of poison, and make this comparison as a starting point to elaborate the entire story about healthy food.
Okay, so Aguinaldo, that would be a great hook for us to start with, right? So maybe we could start with, imagine your child eating, I forgot what you said, toxins?
Being poisoned.
Oh, sorry. Eating poison every day, right? Something like that. Yeah, it could be, right? Yeah, excellent.
It's easier for the parents. You can pass in some bakery and buy something and take this, my kids.
Right.
You know, unfortunately.
Right. Exactly.
This is why I put in the chat, the hook word was, have you heard about Jamie Oliver? That he's a master chef.
Yes.
And he won he is Sir now because the Queen gave him this title, as he changed the ideas of food, the junk food in the UK. So we could compare USA and UK and show an example of what is really worked well. So this is why I would start a little bit different.
Yeah, I love it. Thank you so much. Does everyone know about Jamie Oliver? Do you know who she's referring to? Yeah. Excellent example. And that would be a great way to hook your listener. Yeah. Because he's done so much work, particularly about junk food in schools. Excellent. All right. Any other thoughts in support of this, that junk food should not be?
I think we could say also that healthy food can be cheaper than junk food. So because it's less processed.
Right. Good point. Unfortunately, in the US, healthy food is very expensive. Unfortunately. Yeah.
And,
okay.
And maybe you can explain that each dollar that you destine for children education, you can save $6 after in the health system.
Yeah.
And also maybe can be an argument.
Yeah, excellent point. Okay, so excellent. You gave some really good ideas in support of why schools should not have junk food in them. Okay, so just look in the chat for a second. Just look, some people typed their ideas. Some of them I typed for you. Just look in the chat and for yourself, choose 3 or 4 ideas that you would like to use for yourself. Or if you have them written down yourself, you have your own sense of how you would answer this question. See if you have 3 or 4 supporting ideas. Everybody see that? Yeah. Yeah. Okay. And you can borrow some from your partners, okay, or from your classmates. If someone had a good idea that you liked, you can add that to your list, okay? Okay, and then what we're gonna do is we're gonna practice using this format. So I'm gonna put it back in the chat. Oops. Okay. So you might, what we're going to do next is you're going to go with your partner and you're going to practice just this particular question, okay? I didn't get to if you disagree. Did some people disagree with this? Some people think junk food is okay in school. Yeah. Yes, please, right?
It's very hard to support.
Yeah. Yeah.
Let me say something.
Sure.
I think on the other hand, if you think that if you have only healthy food in schools, it will be, you have to have a big infrastructure, because when you prepare things, healthy food, you need more people working and more space, and you have to keep in storage and to not have waste, and maybe some part of the food maybe you have to have fast food, maybe beverage. You can buy some beverage. You can imagine if you only prepare juice every day, it's very expensive and take a long time to prepare, and that's it.
Good points. Thanks for sharing that. Thank you for sharing that. Okay, so you can decide if you support it or if you're against it, or if you have mixed feelings. You can say that. You can.
Can I say something? So I think schools should have junk food, because like in our topic society, parents like really care about the food they give to their kids. So when we go to the school, at home, you just eat carrots and rice and really good healthy food and fruits. When you go to school to find the same thing, it's not freedom. So when you found junk food and you can just try it, and you are exercising your freedom, your power of choice. And so that's why schools should be a place to kids grow, to kids learn, right? And they really need to learn about them freedom, their choices.
Excellent points. Excellent points. Okay, so thank you for both sides. Thank you so much.
Can I say?
Sure, go ahead.
Yeah, I think that it might have a little term in there that's like most of the time, like 80% of the time, you should have healthy food. But for a healthy diet and live in a normal world and have a nice relationship with food, maybe, I don't know, sometimes like a Friday, you have a junk food.
Right.
So you can balance everything.
Right. Good point. Good point. Okay. So what we're going to do, thank you so much for sharing your ideas, and your ideas in the chat are excellent. What you're going to do with your partner is you're going to defend one side, whether you agree that schools should not have junk food, or with whether you think it's okay, or if you see both sides, you're going to practice just trying to see both sides. Okay. And what you're going to do is you're going to follow this format that I put in the chat, okay, just to practice. So you can say, good evening, whatever your hook is. Have you heard of Jamie Oliver? That's an excellent one. Whatever your hook is. And then you're going to say, in this presentation, I'm going to talk about blah, blah, blah. All right. And then you're going to say, my first point is this. You maybe give a reason or an example. My second point is this. And then same, you give a reason or example, and then you're going to go try to make 3 different points. Okay. And then you're going to try to close your presentation, which means you're just going to say something like, so thank you for listening today. Today I talked about blah, blah, blah. And you're going to say your point. Okay. We're going to try to do it in 1 minute and 30 seconds. All right. So if you're in the middle of the speech and it's only 40 seconds and you're like, I can't talk anymore. That's okay. That's okay. We're just going to try it. And we're going to come back and see how you did. All right. And then we're going to think of some ways that we can add more information. If you can do it in more than 1 minute and 30 seconds, that's wonderful too, okay? We're just saying 1 minute and 30 seconds now to just try it out, okay? Is everybody okay? Are you ready? Can you do it? You can do it, yeah. All right, you can at least try, right? You can try. Okay, now I'm going to send you back with your partner. Remember, if you need help, there is on your toolbar, there is, request to talk to the host. You can always contact me. If your partner doesn't come in right away, just let me know, okay? Because sometimes people's internet connections don't work right away, okay? But here we go. Do your best, just try it, and then we're going to come back and talk about it. Okay, here we go. Hi, Vitor. Hi. Hi. All right, let's go see.
So here in Brazil, it's very important for us because people start only a few years ago. So maybe we have only 1 or 2 meals. Students have only 1 or 2 meals during the time in school. So they need to have a healthy eating habit there, because, and other point is, here in Brazil, we have this kind of program, national program of eating in schools. We introduce food from agriculture, local agriculture. So it's nice because students can.
This presentation, I will talk about how important it is for everybody, not only a child, to have good food, and how it can help them to grow muscle. Some kids like to go to the gym, right? Teenagers, and some of them don't think about how important is food growth muscle. So we talk about that today. We'd like to hear about, well, there are 3 important points that we have to
It's important to create early habits to good food. And for conclude, and I believe that children eat healthy food,
if you only eat salad during their school, it's not good for the children. Maybe they have the opportunity to learn and the importance of having good food, healthy food, but also discover with examples in the restoration other options to eat or drinking, maybe beverage. Nowadays you have healthy beverages, a part of soda, other.
And like obligate one kind of food. Oh God. One kind of food. The school should have more education about food and not like a exclusion of the rest of the world, because kids will be adult and will be like convive with all kind of foods. And I think it's more important school education about food and explain about good foods and bad foods than with prohibition. I don't know exactly. One kind of.
But it sounds like it was perfect. It was very good. I want to do like this. Hi, teacher.
Hey, how's it going?
Awesome.
Anna did just like you taught us. It was perfect, brilliant, and I couldn't do the same. I always get too nervous, and I started talking and starting to learning learning by remembering the words, and I want to say more things, but my English doesn't go as I want to say, so I get paralyzed.
Oh no. Okay, so maybe having some kind of plan, kind of like just to know how you're going to structure it. Yeah, might just help.
I had the plane, the plane in my mind, and I felt like a senator in the Congress defending my idea. It was crazy.
That's awesome. That's awesome. Good job. Good job.
Thanks.
Okay. Well, we're going to come back in a moment and just check in.
Yeah.
We'll just see if how everyone did with it and if they want to add more details or, you know, how they did. Okay. So good job.
Okay.
I'm glad you could practice together. Okay.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Bye. Bye.
About 4 months of my time of jobs and dive into in the English learning, trying to read this challenge that all
It's challenge.
it's not, yes, it's a and can I say in November I get the COVID. I get sick with COVID.
Yeah.
And in this moment I discontrol
the junk food. So you can eat vegetables and be happy too. But that the school have to available the junk food too and make the children choose. The idea is this.
Okay.
Okay.
So how was it? Yeah. You did okay? Yeah. Yeah. All right. All right. Welcome back. Yeah. All right. So how did you do with your partner?
No, easy. No. Oh my God, baby Jesus. But let's go
Try.
Try. Exactly. That's why you're here. That's why you're here. Thank you for sharing that. How did everybody else do?
I think my English is a little rusty, so I think it's very important to talk.
Yeah. Thanks, Luis. Yeah.
I think the same, Luis. No worries.
Lois Albert.
Formulate an opinion.
Yeah.
Sorry.
Yeah.
Lois Albert from Mato Grosso, EFMT, I2. Yeah.
Okay.
Jefferson from Rio de Janeiro did a great job explaining how his institution managed to keep a balance between healthy and not so healthy food in his university.
Awesome. Thanks for sharing. Thank you.
He's the big boss of the institution.
Yeah?
Big boss is him.
Yeah.
I recognize him as his name and also his face here when he turned on the camera.
Nice. Did it help you to have an idea of a structure in your mind? Yeah. Okay. So how did you do for 1 minute and 30 seconds? Was it crazy impossible? Was it easy? Was it just right? What did you think?
I wanted more time, but I think Anna did very good because she had the structure. So I think for me, it's harder the structure than the time.
The limit?
Yeah, because in Portuguese, we don't speak like this. So I need to talk in English and talk in English, not translate.
Yeah, good point.
I really felt like I was on a TED Talk. I said, I'm gonna say 1, 2, 3. One is this, second this, third this. In conclusion, I think this is my opinion.
Yeah, excellent. Yeah. So
I think I see like the extrator is just a big thing for us, because in Portuguese we used to be really poetic, and we got a really nice language to play with all the time, and sometimes and we talk from emotional, and sometimes to bring our speech from Portuguese and to put on extrator is just like a really challenge. So we need to rethink the way we talk.
Right. So this is just one example. If you had to give a presentation, like we have to give big energy to Fernanda. She has to give a presentation tomorrow in English, right? Right. So if you had to structure it for a specific audience or for school or for something that you were giving a really structured presentation, this is one idea how you could do it, right? And Anna, you bring up a good point that TED Talks are very structured, right? They tell you what they're going to talk about, they talk about it, they say 1, 2, 3, right? And then they conclude, right? So this is just one example, okay? And I think it just gives you an idea of how we think in English and how we try to put our ideas forward in English, okay? So next week we can broaden it a little bit so you can have a little more room to add your flavor to it or your ideas to it. But I just wanted to make sure you have a sense of what the format, like the overall format is, okay? Yeah? All right. Did anyone use a really good hook? Did your partner use a really good hook at the beginning? Yeah? Okay, well, you can think about, that's one way you can be very creative in giving the speech, is to hook your listener right at the beginning. Yeah. Okay, so I want to share with you the handout for today. Let me just show you what I'm talking about. So at the end of every class, I'm going to try to make sure that I do this for you, but that you have time to have something to refer to, okay? So these are the things that I talked about today. And these are just review at the beginning. And then this is more about writing and speaking, all right? This is the format that we talked about. And then these are some things that we didn't get to. We started this last week, but we didn't get to tonight. These are some things that you could practice on your own. You could choose one of these opinions and you can think about what your reasons are to support them. And you can practice using that format if you want. And this is just a review of that format again. So this is just what you use tonight. After that, I'm always going to give you some resources. So these links, you can always make them hot links so that you can click right on them. This is how I prepared for our class tonight. But it just gives you some ideas of resources to look at if you want more information, okay? And at the end, I said this, you'll see on the end of the PowerPoint, but there's also my contact information. If you want to say hello or you have a question outside of class, please send me an email and I'll get back to you, okay? So I'm going to put this in the chat for you. Please take it with you. It will also be with the PowerPoint, which will be shared on the Google Drive. And then this recording will also be shared on YouTube Live, okay? So it was so good to see you again tonight. I hope to see you again next Wednesday, all right? Have a wonderful week. Good night and take care, okay?
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.
See you.
Bye-bye, everyone.
See you.
Thanks a lot.
Bye.
Bye-bye.
Bye, teacher.
Thank
Have a nice week.
Bye.
Good night. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.
See you. Good night. Good night.
Bye. Thank you.
You're welcome. Bye-bye. Good night. Bye-bye. Good night. Yeah. Good night. You came back.
You were
Yeah.
recording.